All right, so Toby from Division just left. You know, let the trees dry off a little bit, and he got a couple tractors set up with some new tires, got some radials on 2 of the sprayers. That one doesn't need tires yet, but we're switching all the way from, I can't remember what these are called. We're going to the radials, supposed to last a lot longer and give you better traction. So we're gonna really test these out today in the mud. But Brian is uploading now. I'll give him a little bit and then I'll come load. Again, we're still kind of letting everything dry out. Everything's pretty dry now, so after we get this cover on over the next few days, we will start to get in here, mop this, sweep it, squeegee it, whatever you want. Get everything cleaned up and make it nice like it was. And get that project started in the back where hopefully this never happens again. Splatters every time I forget that. But yeah, unfortunately, with all that rain that we got, we're gonna have to cover all this up again. We're gonna do a full cover, so normally we'd come back and put a side on. But because of all this rain, it washed everything off. We have no coverage, so we gotta get the pink spray on. So we're gonna go in and do a full cover now, most of it today, and then probably finish up a little bit in the morning. Also, like you saw in the last video, the bees, they're out. So we gotta be real careful. All right, like normal, we're gonna wait in line. All right, gonna get what chemicals we need laid out there. So as soon as Brian's done loading, we'll rock and roll it out. Just another day of some fun with the wind. This wind has been nuts this year. But let's get loaded up. All right, got everything in. Got my little list right here. Everything is in the tanks, mixing up. Just waiting for that to fill up all the way, and then we're gonna start over on the, we'll start on the east side. All right, my phone died last night, but we stopped spraying somewhere around 9:30, 10. A real heavy fog set in, so we're getting this last bit done this morning. Dad's got like a tank and a half. I'm gonna knock this out. Then we're gonna try some root pruning, and we got bloom shown in blight variety, so we're gonna have to run another couple tanks tonight on blight. And if you're not sure what blight is, so like small trees, certain trees like Galas, Evercrisp, Pink Ladies, Jonathans, they get blight really bad. And so basically when a bloom opens, that virus will set in on that if there's any moisture above 60 degrees, and it can actually start to die back into the tree and actually kill the tree. And I've seen it take out entire blocks. So it's a pretty serious disease we gotta stay on top of. And today there's like a little EIP thing that shows like how bad the infection could be. It's pretty high. It's gonna be 80s today, and we got a storm coming tonight. So we're gonna cover up blight varieties. This will be done here. So we got a spray for blight. I got Dad running right now. This little block obviously is where I got stuck. I fixed all the ruts up, but with all that rain, it is so wet in here. But I need to get in here for blight. This is a small block. It will be a huge problem. So the only thing we can do is, thankfully there's not a lot per tree, but literally just coming in here and picking these off. And thankfully there's not a lot per tree, and we're gonna do that through all of them. We're already like 3/4 of the way through, so thankfully it's easy. So last night we had another cold event, and it got pretty cold. So today we are putting on Promelin, and it's a PGR, and it's, some studies say that if you're like in bloom, if you freeze before bloom, doesn't help, but if you freeze in bloom like we are right now, or at start of bloom, that it can still help set that fruit. So we're gonna give it a shot and see if we can do it. It also helps just set a crop in general. So I was gonna do this regardless at King Bloom and Goldens especially, and a John Gold block east of here, because it doesn't set good to begin with. And the big thing about this is you gotta have it on within 24 hours of the freeze event. So, I mean, we're not gonna do that many tanks. We're not covering the whole farm, so we'll be good. But if you were, you got a short window. We got a nice low wind day. Dad is rolling on weed spraying grapes. After this tank, I'll probably take over for him. All right, checking on Dad, make sure he's still rolling good. I'm gonna hop in here in a little second. But we did get that freeze last night, so real quick, here's what we're seeing. This one is alive. That's what it should look like, but we're seeing a lot of this. Dead, brown. Here if you can hear it crunch. Hear that? Yeah, we shouldn't be hearing that crunch. So we'll let these things grow out another few days and see what's actually there. But yeah, they should look this nice, bright green, not all this brown. And I know some people that grow grapes may say, well, hey, the secondaries will save you. Well, there's the secondary right here. So they were out, so maybe they will survive it better than the primaries. But I know a lot of the primaries is now we think are smoked. But we think apples and grapes pulled through, or apples and peaches pulled through still. So yeah, see here again. That one's alive. That one's not. The higher hills obviously stayed up a lot better. Anything in the low ground, low spots, they look pretty rough. But some of these high spots, we may have enough to make a small crop. But real quick, we got some downtime. I'm gonna explain this thing better from last year's video. So this is our root prune. You guys saw it for a very short period last year. It's kind of used during full bloom, king bloom. So it's real quick. I try and get it all done in a day. And last year I was in a pinch, so I didn't really get a lot of video of it. So basically you got these giant blades. And these giant blades get pushed down into the ground by all these weights. So I can't remember exactly how much weight is on here, but it's a lot on each one. You got these arms, they can swing out. So we can come out pretty far. Let's see if I get the right one. Wrong one. There it is. So these things swing out so you can get exactly where you want to be underneath the row. You got these skid plates down if you need them, if you get that low, because you only want these blades to go about 12 inches into the ground. I know some of you are probably wondering, why do they want to go 12 inches down? I don't want it to cut any of the real big roots. The whole point of this thing is to cut the fibrous roots, the small little roots that are kind of on the outside of those big tap roots. And the whole idea behind that is it kind of tricks that tree a little bit. So instead of it making a bunch of vegetative growth where you just have suckers everywhere, it kind of tricks them into fruiting. So this thing can actually give you more fruit buds. By reducing a lot of that growth too, it also gets you a lot of benefits like increased light penetration, so you get some better color in the trees, better quality fruit, and hopefully less trimming in the dormant season for the guys. So we're gonna get that new grease gun put together because the John Deere one got fried in the flood. That thing went straight underwater, so that's gone. So this thing's only got a couple grease fittings. We'll probably throw some grease on those big tubes, and this thing will be ready to go. All right, got it primed and all these done. Just redoing the tires on this real quick, so this thing's ready to go. That'll probably do it for this video though, guys. I'm gonna hop in the weed sprayer here in just a little bit. And probably tomorrow we're gonna run this, so watch out for that video next week.